Hi everyone, welcome to my first trophy review where I go over the trophies I've unlocked in the month of December. Now the point of this video is to just go over the trophies I've unlocked, go into detail. It's a monthly recap. It's basically a way for me to journalize these trophies. I will also share my opinions about these games, maybe give you some insight on each trophy, and just a good way to journalize these things. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this video is taking directly inspiration from my good friend Blinkum. Now, Blinkum is another YouTube content creator where he makes a lot of trophy related video, which I enjoy. Thus, I decided to copy his idea and do the same thing on my side where I review each trophy. Now, starting off in December, I was quite busy with work and obviously the holidays, so I did not unlock a ton of trophies, but what I lacked in quantity, I do get in quality. I did finally achieve my rarest trophy, which we'll get to, and I don't think that I'm going to beat that trophy rarity percentage anytime soon. It is quite rare. For a fun fact, I'm recording this video on January 8th, and this month so far, I've unlocked more trophies than I have in the entire month of December, which is quite crazy. So you can expect my next monthly review to be much larger. Now, part of the way that I do trophy hunting is my good friend, which I've mentioned earlier, Blinkum. We challenge each other with clearing our backlog. So I assign him a game, he assigns me a game, and then we go back and try to clear these trophies. Now, the point of this is to try to clean up as many trophies in our backlog that we haven't done. And for the first trophy I've unlocked in the month of December, he did assign me a game called Explode Man. Part of me was very hesitant to go back to this game because when I first played it, I didn't enjoy it. It plays like a janky 2D platformer. It's it reminds me a lot of Explosion Man if you've played it on the Xbox Live Arcade games back in the day. It plays the same way. So essentially what you do is you explode and it makes your character jump or move faster by exploding and moving forward. So it's all momentum based. The game itself came out on the PS3, so this is the PS3 copy that I played. It also is out on Steam, but it's very janky on the PS3. So if you enjoy 2D platformers, specifically janky 2D platformers, then you will enjoy this game. This trophy here essentially is to just complete the main game, so nothing is too hard. But you will notice S rank all squad levels. Now, what S rank requires you to do in this game is something unusual. To get an S rank, forget about time. None of the time matters for S rank. What you're required to do is find 5 collectibles that are hidden across each level. It also requires you to collect resources that you get from killing enemies and scattered across the world. Unfortunately, I did encounter some issues. There's extreme slowdown, and I did have, unfortunately, some crashes. So just be aware. It's not something that it crashes often, but it did get maybe one crash once an hour or so. This next trophy here is to basically unlock all your abilities. Something this game does pretty neat is it has a bit of a roguelike element to it. The resources I've mentioned earlier where you gather from the enemies, you can upgrade your character. Now, this is sort of a meta progression where as you upgrade your suit, you can go back in earlier levels and then utilize a better suit. So it's kind of neat. You don't often see these types of elements even in today's game. So I gotta give this game some credit because it's not something that you see often. And it's pretty neat when I first started discovering about this mechanism where you upgrade your suit and you get these resources. It's pretty neat. Next trophy I got is one trophy related to Gris. I'll skip over it because I will get more trophies later on for Gris, and I'll give you my opinions of this game later. Ooh, Balatro. In case you don't know what Balatro is, I highly recommend this game. It is absolutely addictive. Now, just be aware that if you do enjoy this game, you will probably play it for, God, hours. At this point, I've put about 100 hours, and I started in late November, just to give everyone some context. Now, the trophies for this game are quite crazy. It's a very hard platinum. The gold stake difficulty is you have to achieve a win on the hardest difficulty. It is essentially the same thing if you play a lot of Hades. It is the same thing as getting the highest amount of Hades heat. So the heat mechanic is the stake mechanic. It just makes it harder and progressively harder as you get further. A lot of these trophies here are pretty straightforward. Speedrunner just requires you to beat the game pretty quickly, but you can easily get this as you get better at the game. You go to the easiest difficulty, which is the white stake, and you just skip a lot of rounds. And one of my favorite things about Balatro is that the game really rewards you to get good at the game. I can clear white stake difficulty at about a 95% win rate when I initially couldn't even complete it. For my first gold stake win, I don't recall how many hours, but it did take a long time to finally get my first gold stake difficulty win. The game itself has 15 total decks, and the second deck that I won the gold stake on, it didn't take me that much long. It took me about 4 attempts. The reason why I absolutely love this game is that you have jokers, how the jokers interact with each other. For example, we have this joker here called Nest Egg, and the joker itself gains value, monetary value over time. And you might have another joker where its X mult value is dependent on the card's sell value. So you can see how things interact with each other. It makes it feel like you're almost outsmarted in the game, but obviously the game itself is designed so well. Every single joker has some value in a vacuum. There are some better jokers, obviously, than others, but every single joker is useful to some extent. Now, I don't have the platinum yet, but this is a game that I'm going to be grinding all year long, so I will slowly chip at it. To get the platinum, the hardest trophy is you have to get a gold sticker on each joker. Now, to get a gold sticker is you need to beat a run on gold stick difficulty, and it will put a small sticker on the jokers that you're currently using for that run. There are a total of 150 jokers, so as you can understand, this can get quite long. The platinum trophy is something that I will definitely get. I don't anticipate myself falling off this game. In fact, I love it even more. I love this game so much that unfortunately the game caused a permanent burn-in on the TV. So I don't know if I'll put a screenshot if you can see it, but yeah, it's not just something to beware that this game is that addictive. Another thing about the Balatro game that I absolutely love is just how the sound effect, how the jokers, just a little chip sound of the chips moving around and the cards, and when you unlock certain cards, the whole system, how everything clicks together, it just sounds so good. After playing a bunch of Balatro, I finally go back to Explodement, and then we finally get it. My rarest trophy at a 1.04%, the ultra rare. Now, it's not 1% rare. It's not 1% hard. Obviously, this game is a lot older, so this percentage doesn't really reflect the difficulty, but it does still require you to master the game. You still have to speedrun the game, get really good at it, and it's not something that you can do free. For example, a couple levels took me about 10 attempts, and some levels the part time is 10 to 15 minutes. So there's quite some long levels, especially the levels that have a boss fight. And to wrap up the game to be 100%, we had these 2 remaining trophies where we had to destroy 15 enemies less than 5 seconds and explode in the same green sticky bomb 10 times. Now, these trophies are kind of hard to do. There are very, very specific setups. There is a forum post on PS3 Trophies, the original website on the forums. There is a post that explains the setup on how to do these 2 trophies. I recommend, if you do decide to play this game, to go and look at it. Now, would I recommend Explodement? I would only recommend this game if you enjoy a janky 2D platformer. If you're looking at this gameplay that I'm showing it, and you're telling yourself, this looks fun, then I would recommend it. But just be aware that the trophy will require you about 15 hours or so to get. If you don't care about trophies and you just want to play a jank 2D platformer, then absolutely, I recommend this game. I've been looking at my profile and trying to look at any multiplayer trophies that are not obtained. And I kind of want to get ahead of the curve before the server shut down. And something that stood out to me was Windjammers. Now, Windjammers is a sport tennis related game where you're throwing frisbees around. I first learned of this game back in the day when I was listening to a lot of Giant Bomb with Jeff Gerstmann. He used to play this game a lot on Unprofessional Fridays. So if you're a longtime subscriber of Giant Bomb, you might recall this game. The trophy list is pretty straightforward. Now, a lot of the harder trophies are related to playing online games, but thankfully, the online community is pretty much dead, so it's quite easy to boost. I found a partner online to boost trophies with, and it does require to get 10 ranked games in a row and 100 ranked games. Thanks to my partner, we boosted this pretty easily. Other trophies are just simply, sliding 1,000 times, so you'll just get that over naturally. Scoring super custom moves, so nothing too crazy. Toss the disc 151 times. And then you see here, we finally finished 100 rank matches. I don't know if you all feel this way, but whenever I finish a trophy list that has a bunch of online trophies, it just feels good that I know that whatever happens, if the servers do get shut down, I know that I'm set. Even if I have a bunch of single player trophies, at least I got all the multiplayer trophies done. So that's kind of the way that I have unlocked these trophies, is I've been looking at my profile and trying to notice any ranked games that I haven't done or any multiplayer trophies I haven't done, and going back and cleaning it up. Now, we will see if we go back and clean up the rest of the Windjammers trophies. What is required up to this point is a couple more super custom move scores and beating the game on arcade hard difficulty, which is the rarest trophy of the bunch. So we will see in the next update video if we do go for that. We did get a bunch of random Balatro trophies. I'm not going to comment. I've already given my opinions on it. But we finally get to clean up on Gris. Now, Gris is a puzzle platformer that is beloved by many people. The art and the music is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I went back and listened to the OST pretty frequently, and the music, just looking at the game visually is so beautiful. The art itself is a lot of watercolor, a lot of pastel colors. It's just a beautiful looking game. Unfortunately, I didn't love the game as much as I wanted to. I felt the game started off a bit slow and it was a bit boring. Specifically, this trophy here, Sandstorm. This is from the first stage, and I will roll some footage as well so you can see it, but it's just very slow moving, and I traditionally prefer my platformers to be a little more snappier and quicker. However, I still ultimately like the game. I just didn't love it as much as other people. For me, the art and the music really carries the game. If the art wasn't as good, I would probably not like it as much. And this is something that made me reflect. I've always felt this way with puzzle platformers. Maybe, I love platformers. It's one of my favorite genres, and I also absolutely love puzzle games. So maybe it's just a mix of the two. I don't know. Everyone let me know in the comments if you feel this way, but for me, when they mix together, I just kind of find it a bit boring because it's very much slow paced. I prefer my puzzle games to be straight up puzzle games, sort of like The Witness, things like that. And I prefer my platformers to be just pure platformers. It just maybe puzzle platformers for me maybe just don't mix well for me. Now, thankfully, none of these trophies are missable. It's just going back and cleaning it up with chapter select. I do still recommend. This is free on PS Plus Premium if you're a subscriber. So I do recommend playing through it if it's something that sounds interesting. Like I said, the art is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's second to none. I love just looking at the art for this game. None of the trophies are missable. It has chapter select, so thankfully you can just go in with no information. Just go in and know that you can easily clean up the platinum. In fact, the platinum is pretty common. Something I did want to say about Gris is that the first stage, if you do play it and you don't love the first stage, just be aware that it does get much better as you unlock more abilities. So just be power through it. The first stage to me wasn't very good. So just so you know, if you do play the game and you don't fall in love, it does get better towards the second stage, and the third stage is where, in my opinion, it really picks up. And finally, for the last game of the month, As I've mentioned a few times, me and Bluesky, we challenge each other. So as I finished Explodoman, he challenged me, and this is game number 15. He challenged me with Sekiro. For context, I've played Sekiro when it first came out, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I still think about that game pretty frequently. It is, to me, my favorite FromSoft game. It doesn't come close. I feel like a lot of people don't love this game for whatever reason. If you ask a lot of people to rank their FromSoft games, this generally comes down much lower. But to me, it's my favorite. It's easily my favorite FromSoft game, and easily one of the best action games ever. So when he first assigned me this game, I was extremely excited because, like I've mentioned, I haven't played since launch, and I was very in love with this game. So I couldn't wait to go back and see if my feelings were valid, if I truly still liked it. Now I'm gonna blur a lot of these trophies because they're related to endings, so you might see some text blur. It's just because I don't want to spoil some trophies. They're related to the endings, but you can't really, without context, you don't really know what it means. But I'm still gonna blur it to be safe. And boy, was I right when I went back to this game. It did confirm to me that it's a hell of a good game. It confirmed to me that I even liked it more. Strangely enough, I'm not gonna spoil, but the game itself has one of the worst FromSoft fights. I don't like this boss fight. I can't really say without spoiling it, so it's kind of hard, but it has one of my worst fights that I hate. The last boss of this game is one of the best boss fights ever made, specifically for an action game, and from a soft game, it's perfection. It easily is the best boss fight. This game really, really rewards you for the parry system. Normally when I play Souls games, the parry system is not something that I use a lot. Like Bloodborne, I didn't really use the parry system much. Maybe I just didn't click with it, but this is one of the first times where a parry system really connected with me. I really got it. It really felt good, and it's something that once you master, you can go through the entire game, kill bosses so fast, because as you get really good with parrying, it becomes a rhythm game, and you get in a pattern, and you just feel connected. You really feel, this is the first time I felt connected to my weapon, connected to my character. And something, this is very controversial, I really loved the fact that this game forced you to use one weapon and not have a bunch of armor. And I know this is not a popular opinion, but I just really like that this game really forced you to just use this one weapon. Something that really confirmed again by playing this game over is that I absolutely love a no stamina meter. To me, one of the best games that would ever be made would be if you merge Elden Ring's open world, Elden Ring's world, with the gameplay of Sekiro. If you make these two games together, it would be one of the best games ever made. When this game was first announced, I was so excited because I played a lot of Tenchu games on the PS2, and I absolutely loved them back in the day. So when I first saw this gameplay, I was like, oh my god, FromSoft is making a new Tenchu game. I was so excited. It turned out to be Sekiro, but I still loved it. So it might just be the ninja, maybe the stealth. I do love stealth games, so it might just be that. That's why how much I like it. When I first played this game, the last boss, which is incredibly difficult, took me about 20 to 30 attempts before I killed it. And this time around, I killed it in my third attempt. The game really rewards you when you get really good and really in tune with the rhythm system. You get into the fight, you get really into it, and it's just like, it feels almost like you're playing Guitar Hero to a certain extent. It's so fun. Strangely enough, earlier last year I played Lies of P. And since I've played Lies of P, I've noticed that my Souls skills have increased tenfold. I don't know what it is. It's maybe just because Lies of P also has a good parry system, and it made me forced to get really good at these types of games. But I went back to a few Souls games, and I felt they were much easier. So if it's something that you're struggling to get to Souls games, maybe playing Lies of P, forcing your way through Lies of P, will really train you. At least for me, it really felt that way. It might just be a coincidence, I don't know, but it really felt that way. And that'll be all for the trophies in December. We have a couple trophies left from Sekiro, which requires you to grind and get a bunch of resources to upgrade your material, to upgrade all your skills. So you'll have to tune in to the next video to see if I do get this platinum. I really appreciate everyone watching. Thank you so much. This is my first video. Please let me know what you think. Constructive criticism is appreciated. So if this is my first YouTube video, so if you have feedback, let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this type of content, I will be doing more trophy related videos. You can see in the back, I do have a lot of retro games. So if it's something that you want to see a game room tour, something I'm planning, please let me know what kind of videos you'd like me to do. I plan to make more trophies related video. Like I said, this is going to be a monthly video where I will post my review of each trophy, where I go into detail about every single trophy. Now, I've mentioned at the start of the video, I didn't have a ton of trophies in the month of December. I was quite busy. However, in January, you can expect a much, much longer video. But yeah, that wraps it up. Please subscribe if you'd like. Please comment if you have some suggestions. I also stream on Twitch, so you can catch my stream. I'll be linking the stream at the bottom. So if you'd like, you can also follow me there. I mostly stream retro games, so just be aware of that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day and a happy new year.